Okay, very good. We are live. Hi, everybody. Welcome to tonight's Awakenvideo Friday night live stream for July 10th already, 2025. And I just want to give a big thank you to our very good friend Karen De Biase for introducing us to Flat Earth Dave, who's with us tonight. And we're going to do a really great interview. I'm sure we're going to have a nice conversation about our real Earth, the flat Earth. Welcome, David.
Hey, thanks for having me. I love talking to people that can see outside of the box that the elite have tried to place us in, or the globe, if you will.
That's right. Yeah. So we got there, and we've talked a lot about, the usual way, it came to us, a long time before we actually accepted it and went open-minded with it, because we had all that mind control, right? We watched the sun go down over the curve. And but I don't think we need to begin at the beginning and have kindergarten class on this. So let's get into some deeper stuff. And I have one thing that's new to us anyhow, aspect of, or let's say a proof of the flat Earth. And that's that meteors and or shooting stars, we only see them coming downward or at angles or even sometimes straight across, but you never ever see shooting stars or meteors coming up from the horizon.
Like that. So
like that.
Here's the globe, and so you're here in the north and the meteors are coming down, but somebody here is seeing meteors go up. That never happens.
Never.
Right?
No, never.
So now these people in the south are seeing meteors go down, and we're seeing them go up from the horizon, and this doesn't happen. No.
Right. So that is a great proof. That's so obviously not new to you.
Yeah. So, if you think about it, it's quite crazy. Do you know how meteor showers happen? Like every August, third week in August or something, there's I think it's the Perseus meteor shower. Do you know what the official explanation for that is?
No, I don't.
The official explanation is a comet went by a long time ago, leaving a dusty trail. And every year the Earth goes through that dusty trail, and those particles of dust burn up in the atmosphere. Cool story, bro, right? But if you think about it, the Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, no problem. It's orbiting at 66,000 miles an hour. It's going, and it's chasing the sun at 500,000 miles per hour. It's going 186 million miles from one side of the sun to the other. So what if when we pass through that trail that was left there, how long ago? I couldn't even tell you. What if we were on the other side of the 180 million miles? Was that path that wide? And then we travel 4.4 billion miles every year, never to returning to where we were before. What is that tail tracing us? It's chasing us around the sun.
Right.
It's this. Here's what I say. I get a little excited sometimes.
Me too.
If globe believers knew a tenth of what we know about their model, they would be a flat earther, because their model is the most unbelievable, most ridiculous religion of all.
It's absolutely crazy. And yet, while we have talked about this before, but while we're doing this crazy, perfect spinning dance and nothing ever smashes into each other, and we're zooming however many billions of miles through infinite space, there is never star parallax, and there is the pole star always above the North Pole, or as we call it, Mount Meru. And all of the, especially in India, all of the sundials and the lesser known moon dials all work perfectly. All of these.
Yeah, still.
Which is nuts, right?
And you never see new stars or new things appearing in the sky. If we were shooting through space like that, you'd see stuff all the time, and there would be collisions and everything happening, chaos,
Yeah.
It would be
chaos. But every night it's the same stars every night.
And all of the constellations have never changed. Now they'll claim, they changed, or this one star changed. There are some little lights in the sky that occasionally do change, but all the constellations are in one position. Right? But
Right.
parallax is when you move and things in the distance move slower than things in the foreground, right?
Right.
Right.
Never happens. It never happens.
Never have.
Right.
Yeah, and their official story is that stars aren't all out there at the same in the same place lined up. They're millions of light years, according to them, of difference in their distance from us. So that tells you that's the setup for what you just said, parallax.
You just said millions of light years. Do you know how many people understand what that means? Because I don't. Okay.
I don't either.
We're not even capable of understanding what millions of light years mean. Okay.
Right.
But they use
Right,
that
I
number
know.
all the time. And
Exactly.
so what is a light year? A light year is the distance light travels in a year at 1186,000 miles a second times a year's worth of seconds. That's pretty far, right? It's
Right.
it's like I think 4.5 light years is 25 trillion miles. Now that doesn't sound bad. That's only 1/3 of our national debt. Okay, 25 trillion, right? So 25 trillion miles. So the closest star, other than our sun, they say that, the sun's a star and whatever. The closest one is 25 trillion miles. So if we were going a mile per second, which no one's ever gone that fast, for 1 trillion seconds, we'd be 1 trillion miles. We'd have to do that 24 more times to get there, right?
Exactly.
You know how long 1 trillion seconds is?
And again, no concept because that's just too much.
Take a guess. If you guess it within a week, I'll give you a Bitcoin.
Okay. Now, what's the number again?
1 trillion seconds. How long is it? Is it a week? Is it 10 years? What is it?
I would think it would be somewhere over 1,000 years.
That's a great guess. 31,000 years. Okay.
Wow.
31.
Wow.
And so if Elon lent me a rocket that goes 100,000 miles an hour, which is crazy, it would only take us 8,000 years to get there. Right. That's the closest star. We get there like, oh, there's no life here. Let's go to the next star, which is 10 times farther. Okay.
Right.
Cosmological distances are Narnia stories.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
then absolute science fiction.
And people just believe, right? Hubble. Remember Hubble? Hubble's out there. Remember, we're corkscrewing through space, moving in 4 different directions at once. Hubble's out there doing these long exposure photographs of deep space, right?
Right.
Now, on Earth, when we do a long exposure photograph, like in the mountains in Hawaii, the operator has to take his shoes off and tiptoe around the telescope while it's doing it because any vibration will ruin the whole photo, right?
Right.
Did he forget that we're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, that we're orbiting at 66,000 miles an hour, that we're chasing the sun, that we're wobbling all over the place? And then Hubble's doing all of that and traveling 17,000 miles an hour just to keep up with the Earth spin.
Yeah.
And never smashing into anything like micrometeors
and
or any of the other BS.
And it's able to focus on something. So they just announced that Hubble took a picture of a galaxy that has possible habitable planets 13.4 billion light years away, but they can't take a picture of the moon lander. Hubble can't take a picture.
Oh, I know.
Right.
And even deeper than this, did you ever investigate the Hubble? Because there was a young man a long time ago who was actually pre-astrophysicist, so a very smart fella in college.
I forget his name right now. I
know. And he figured out that everything, because there's some telescope they stick out of the window of an airplane.
It's called Sophia. Sophia, out of the side of a 777.
And every time Sophia takes a picture, we have new pictures from Hubble, and they actually show you both.
And he interviewed the head guy in charge of Hubble, and he admitted that he's never had direct access to Hubble. The director.
And there's so much other crap, like the shuttle, the space shuttle is supposed to only be able to go so far. But somehow they went up and they repaired the lens or the mirror or whatever.
I was so upset back then with the Hubble that it's out of focus. I'm like, oh my God. I was so upset.
What happened?
I was so upset.
Me too.
And then they fixed it. But let me just run through these numbers for a second. 13.4 billion light years. Okay. Remember, we were just talking about 4.5 light years a minute ago. So 1 light year is 5.8 trillion miles. The moon is 237,000 miles, which is nothing. Okay.
Right.
24 24.8 million times farther than 1 light year. Okay. So the thing that they took a picture of is 24.8 million times farther than the moon, which they can't take a picture of the moon lander, times 13.4 billion.
Ridiculous.
That's beyond
Right?
ridiculous.
Your mind just melts. 13.4 billion.
That's why they do it, of course.
Yeah.
So it's like making the stock market super complicated, so less folks will be involved in it, to keep people sort of scared away. They always put in,
it's crazy.
Crazy. They make it seem way more complicated than it has to be. And of course, you and I, we all know together that this Earth is actually constructed by our Creator in such a way that if you can get past the mind control, you can figure it out. It's not impossible to figure it out.
John, your chat is saying that they can only hear me.
They can hear both of us now.
Oh, they can? All fixed? Oh,
yeah.
We can hear you now. All right, got it. Good. All good. I didn't see it.
Yeah. We caught it on this end too. Thanks to Water Woman Kimberly in our chat. Thank you for speaking up on that. Tech savvy, we are not.
So, Water Woman, do you know that large bodies of water need to be contained and lay flat? Just like the Earth. The Earth is flat with contained water. And what's funny is people like, well, I want to debate you about the globe. No, the debate's over. The debate's over. There's nothing. There's nothing.
Right.
I offered for 5, 6, 7 years now. I've offered 3 Bitcoins for 1 globe proof. But I'm actually going to stop offering that because it's just a waste of time. Because people are like, let's put our stuff in escrow and all of the stuff. I'm like, just tell me what your proof is. So in 3 seconds, I can show you how it's not a proof. And every single time, it's flat Earth 101 nonsense.
Right. And now we're noticing that they've gone from, being boastful and very confident and all of this and offering the 101 stuff that you can knock down. And they've gone from that to we need to use CGI and fake more stuff like the final experiment, for instance, or like this fellow I told you about that I just saw. I'll be putting that for everybody. I'll be putting that in the description, by the way. Some Masonic shill made a video and faked the sun going down and angling to the left in the southern hemisphere to say that we see it, but it's a lie. It's just like the whole final experiment. And I forget the guy's name, but that preacher guy we asked, because we did a flat Earth video a while ago.
Will Duffy.
We showed that. Yeah, Duffy. And he says, here's a supposed man of God pastor. And he's saying, there's nothing immoral or sinful about deception or lying. He said that.
Well,
said that.
There's so much with Duffy. I don't want to focus on him because he's not worth focusing on.
No.
This is a picture that Don Pettit took from the space station showing a time lapse of the stars circling Polaris and then the lights on the Earth streaking by. That is impossible. These lights would be
impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would just be a spaghetti mess. And
right.
They literally showed us, and people were like, "Oh, that's so awesome! It's so awesome!" It's
going right through the Earth.
It's amazing.
Yeah, wouldn't the stars would be like on a flat plane above the flat Earth?
They would be
not on their side.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And then
here's another one too.
Because people see the stars moving overhead, therefore the stars are stationary and we're moving. That's globe logic.
Yeah, it's that, and you can disprove that. Also, another good one here, I think I might have mentioned this to you in our emails. Another one that blows my mind is over and over again, these folks who go to the SOHO model. In SOHO, remember, there's at least 2, there might be 3 of the SOHO satellites that are supposed to be positioned around the sun, which is, 90-something million miles away or whatever.
93 million miles away.
Yeah, and anybody can take an analog telescope and put a special filter on it so you can aim it at the sun. And of course, the true sun, which is fairly close to us, looks nothing at all like the Soho models, which are models. They're absolute CGI. What do you have anything on that?
Well, I have a lot on satellites, but yeah, the only pictures that we get like that are from NASA, right? And
Right.
and you've looked up and seen lights going across the sky, and you were told that they were satellites, right? They're going too fast to be planes. They're too small, right? They're moving. They're satellites,
Right.
Mm.
right? When you
Yeah.
look up and see a 747, it looks tiny at cruising altitude, right? It's tiny. You can see it's an airplane. Can you make out the engines? Probably not. Okay,
Yeah.
probably not. Double the height of that airplane, you can't even see the airplane anymore, let alone the engine,
Right.
right? So that's
Right.
only 10 miles high at double, right? Those satellites that we see in the sky are smaller than those jet engines, and they're 350 miles away. And you think you can see them with your eyes, right?
No.
We have, NASA launches 8,000-pound satellites on these balloons, right? They go up on these balloons. But do you know anything about solar power? I was in the
Not a lot, a
garden.
bit.
You angle the panel at the best angle to get the most amount of sun. So here in
Right.
Connecticut, 30-degree tilt south. That way the sun comes up and across, and it's getting sun all day long. If I
Right.
faced it north, it wouldn't get any sun at all. If I faced it
Mhm.
south, it gets sun. If I faced it west, it would only get sun in the afternoon, right?
Right.
Mhm.
And at the right angle for your latitude. Look at the angle of these panels. These are almost straight across.
Mhm.
Like, why?
So it's
And they're
close.
launching this from far south. Like this might even be launched in Antarctica. I'm not sure,
I think so. I
right?
think
But
so.
that would mean that it doesn't make any sense, except when you look at satellites flying. This is actually not over Antarctica. Um, Look at the angle to the sun. When we send balloons up to
Right.
130,000 feet, it's like the sun is right there because it might be right
Yeah, it's right
there.
next to him.
It might be right there.
Right.
And it's at the right angle.
And I recognize that photo, at least
Yeah.
the part of the Earth with the flat plane and the hot spot right
Yep.
there,
That's the
which
hot
is
spot
another
right.
proof the sun is so close.
So this isn't Antarctica because there's green grass. So
Maybe
yeah,
it's not.
maybe. I'm not sure. But again, it doesn't prove anything. It just there's a preponderance of evidence that the Earth is flat. There's things that work on a flat Earth, work on a globe Earth, or work on both. Nothing goes into that middle basket. Nothing
Exactly.
just
Right.
works on a globe Earth. Nothing. So at what point, when those two outer bowls are overflowing, do you toss in the towel and say, you know what? My whole life has been a lie, and now it's time to wake up and take back
Right.
control.
Right. And
Yeah.
there's Eric Dubay, great, the 200 proofs and there's way more than 200 proofs at this point. But also, our personal expertise has been for years now, going on a couple of decades of talking about mind control. And if you want a whole bunch of proofs that we're all under mind control, that's another road to get to the flat Earth, I call it the real Earth. But we are all under some super, super heavy mind control, and having that globe in every freaking classroom that we were ever in since the time
Every
we were 5
movie,
years old.
everywhere. It's everywhere. Everything is
Absolutely.
globe this, globe that. I tell the story one of my earliest school memories. I was either in kindergarten or first grade. Teacher took us outside to teach us about gravity. Right, they teach us about the moon and the sun. And I remember the worksheet I brought home. The moon goes around the Earth, and the Earth goes around the sun. So I had to that was the worksheet.
Right.
He swung water in a bucket around with a rope, and he said, "That's gravity." And I said to him, as a little kid, I said, "But the ball has the water on the outside. So doesn't the bucket have to be the other way?" And the teacher goes like this, goes over, he gets his book, it has tons of highlights in all different colors, and he reads me the couple sentences in the chapter. He goes, "That's how I'm told to teach it. So that's how I'm going to teach it."
Mm.
And then I went
Yeah.
and played on the swing and didn't care.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Well, good for you.
Yeah.
Kudos to you for getting that so young
Yeah.
too. So
So
I have a question. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, real quick, you said there's Eric Dubay's 200 proofs. Yeah, there's tons of proofs on my app, the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. I've added the Flat Earth proof cards, and there's flashcards for flat Earth proofs. So when somebody says there's no proofs, you can just flick from card to card. So this one has
How many you got?
there's over 225 right now, and there's more coming. And I link them to videos, websites, or whatever, like the Antarctic Treaty. Click this, great video about the Antarctic Treaty. I can share them, boom, share them however you want, and you know, you don't have to have the app to share them with people. And it's a great way to kind of just flat smack people. You have a friend, send them one card a day, just one card a day.
Here, that's cool. That's cool. I got another one you might be able to add to your collection there.
God, what is it?
So many people know, especially us real Earth knowers, know about the treaty and how suspicious that is.
Yeah.
So nobody can go south to the ice wall, which is
Yeah.
supposedly a continent. However, so many people don't know about the North Pole, and in the 50s, the United States military, specifically the Corps of Engineers, building a detection line all the way around the North Pole that detects something as small as like a deer or something crossing over, trying to get to what we think is Mount Meru.
Yeah, you know, the four islands out there with the four rivers and Mount Meru.
Right.
Again, great. I'm in that camp. I'm not going to claim it until I can prove it. But
right,
you know, and then Antarctica is just, they have all the islands out there that have the military bases on it. Remember the Falkland Islands War?
Right. Yeah. Why would they bother with that?
Yeah. So the Falkland Islands is right here. So all of these are military bases controlled by the crown, and this is where they guard from anyone going out. And then there's a buoy network, this radar buoy network, kind of just like that. It's probably the same thing, just floating in the water.
Right.
And so it'll detect boat waves, boat motion. Like you can't slip in there in a tiny little Boston whaler. You can't get through without getting caught.
No, not too long ago, some folks came up missing who went out there on a fairly good size ocean yacht.
Did you see the kid that's flying around the world trying to raise money for cancer, and he flew to Antarctica the other day?
No.
Yeah, so he's trying to land on the continent. So he made a false flight plan, and from Santiago, he left and allegedly went to Antarctica. Right, a little 17-year-old kid in a Cessna. I don't know what it was. And I don't know if I believe the story. I'm trying to think what is going on with this, but it's fascinating. Sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Wow.
He might have gone to Deception Island.
I was just going to say that. Yeah, we're in Uruguay. And if you leave from Uruguay, or even Argentina, but if you leave from Uruguay and head towards the peninsula that they take everybody to, is nowhere near any sort of it's nowhere in the interior of their fake continent. But you go past it's just west of the Falklands. You go past Deception Islands.
That's where they take most of the tourists. Deception Island and Rothschild Island, which is right next to it.
Yep, that's right. Isn't that so in your face?
It's just a coincidence. It's just a coincidence. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Stop it.
So let's see here. I'll go to my notes here. Oh, did you happen to look at the clip I sent you from the Lego movie? I thought that was kind of cool.
Remind me what it was. I've watched so many things.
In the mind control flick, it's absolute SRA and mind control, satanic ritual abuse, all in this movie. It's called The Lego Movie from years ago, but there's a little part in it where they're like, Mr. Business, who's played by William Ferrell, Will.I.am Ferrell, who's a big-time Satanist. He plays the part of Mr. Business, which is clearly Satan or Lucifer, whatever you want to call it. And in the description, like, Mr. Business was very confused by all the people having their freedoms, and they show him flying and making things. So Mr. Business, separated all the realms of the earth. And they show, in the clip, they show these people or these Lego figures going across towards an ice wall, and the ice wall opens up and they go in and it shuts.
Wow. I got to check.
Yeah, man.
I did not see that. I think I watched some breakdown of it a long time ago. The movie's a few years old, right?
Yeah, it's several years old. Yeah.
I saw something a few years ago. I'll watch it again though. Thanks.
Cool. And for everybody watching, we'll put that my mind control breakdown of the Lego movie in there, and it's at the 16-minute and 20-second mark where these clips are in there. So, wow, man.
Well, I have a question.
Go ahead.
So when we used to live in Indiana in the northern hemisphere, and we moved to Uruguay, southern hemisphere. So I've always been a sky watcher, love to look at the constellations. And when we moved to Uruguay, I was a little disoriented looking up at the sky at night because things are,
You were
didn't make
upside
sense to me.
down, right?
Oh yeah, it's upside down.
Yeah.
So it took me probably about 4 months to realize, okay, that all of the stars were upside down and backwards, as if they were an upside down mirror image. But so was the moon, which really blows my mind. And so, it led me to the conclusion that all of the stars are very close. They're like right there. They're very close, and so are the sun and the moon. So, from the United States, let's say the constellation Orion. From the United States, I had to look south. So Orion's like right up here, and here's me. I'm looking south, and then I moved to South America. So I go down to South America, I look back, and then I'm looking from the other angle. So I have to look towards the north to see Orion, and it's upside down and backwards, like upside down mirror image.
So imagine drawing a horse on your ceiling, and you and I are standing on opposite ends of the room.
Right.
That's what it
Places
is.
it's upside down and backwards.
Exactly. Right. But what is the moon doing? Like,
The
how
moon
is
the
that
same
upside
thing.
down and backwards?
The moon is the same thing. The moon, let me show you. So the moon is right here. It's in between the tropics, right? So when we're in the north, we're looking at the moon this way.
Okay.
So let's say if I drew a 6 on the moon, so I'm looking at a right side up 6 from here, and then I go out to the south, I look up at the moon, I see a 9.
Okay.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
It's so simple.
Yeah,
People
it's very
can't get
simple.
it. But then they go,
Mhm.
well, how come you can't see Polaris from the south, right?
It's too far south.
Well, we're too far south. When you're in the south, the Polaris is in the
Yeah.
north, and the
Right.
Right.
perspective makes it disappear around the horizon, the equator, around the equator. But
Mhm.
the truth is, there's been observatories that have seen it as far as 30 degrees south.
Wow.
That's impossible on a globe. It's possible on
Right.
a flat Earth on a super clear day with the right optics, right?
Yeah.
Um,
It's impossible anywhere near the equator
on
a globe.
on the globe, anywhere south of the equator, the star should be hidden by Earth curve. If you were outside playing and you duck behind a hill, could I see you?
No.
No.
Right, but they want you to believe that if a fog came in or some warm temperature and some cold air, that you would pop up above that hill and I'd be able to see you and I'd be able to shoot you with the rail gun. Okay,
No,
because
don't work that way.
Yeah, that's always horizontal, the railgun.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. Let me ask you, what do you think the equator is? What about that?
Yeah, I think
I have a theory,
the
but
equator is just the middle of the tropics. I think it's shorter than 24,901. I think it's more like 21,000, but I don't know. I'm not measuring it myself, so
and it's also not just a blatant mark on a map. There's energy there, which normally keeps storms on either side of it. Like normally,
Like
Well-
a jet stream.
well,
Yeah.
if I put the time lapse on, the sun and the moon are electric and magnetic. We live in this electromagnetic world, so they're
Right.
laying down a wake. If you push your hand or a paddle through water, you get counter rotating vortices on both sides
Right.
of your hand or paddle. So I think that that they're doing that also. And depending on when a storm or something is coming, occasionally, like let's say the sun and the moon it was like a new moon, so the moon would be over here, and a storm was coming at just the right time. Sometimes they can cross over and spin the wrong directions. It happens,
Hmm.
not so infrequently. It happens. It happens once in a while.
I've noticed that it happens more now, and I think it has a lot to do with geoengineering. That
Yeah.
we're seeing more of it now than ever, like all of the weather. I will show you. I was going to do a drawing, but I'll show you just physically with this plate from our
Okay.
kitchen what I think the equator is. So if this is, and you can tell me whatever you think,
And
but if this is our plane, the plane of the Earth, and also I don't think that necessarily the plane of the Earth is just that map there. I think there's a very good chance that there's a ice wall in here with that entire map in it and a whole bunch of other stuff out on the rest of the plane, all separated by the ice wall that they call the
I love
um,
talking about outer lands,
Antarctica.
but I always preface it with we don't need to speculate what's beyond where we can go to prove the earth is flat. We can do that
True,
Right.
true,
from right where we are. But there's
true.
lots of
But
evidence, and I would bet that it looks more something like this.
me
Yeah.
too. Me too.
Yeah.
Here's my idea about the equator. Just a theory.
Okay.
So if there is a toroidal field coming up and going around, let's say it comes up out of Mount Meru or whatever is at the center of the Earth here, the magnetic north.
Mhm.
It comes up and goes around and then back up through the under the Earth through shale under the Earth. So just taking this like one magnetic rail going this way, if the center of that rail, right? So you have this donut, the center of there you go. So the center of the donut in a 3D in a circle could be the energy in the. Boy, I wish I could point. I could point at your picture right there, but
Right
so
here.
you hit. Let's get the right angle. So you have, let's just say, one of those lines, just one line going up and under and in.
Yep.
The middle of that, the center of that line, there's got to be a specific sort of energy in there. There could easily be a vortex energy, and that could be laying right, that could be the equator. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
I get it. I mean, this entire plane we live on is a dielectric plane in between two toroid fields. So
Right.
people go, I used to think it was a simulation, but now I'm leaning towards flat. I'm like, don't go away from simulation. I mean, this is
Right.
we live in an electrical system. Our thoughts
Right.
create our reality, right?
Right.
Don't tell me that's. I mean, that's more of a I don't know what to call it anymore. The only word I can come up with is simulation. So
That's Nikola Tesla right there too. He said the Earth is not an object; it's a realm, and it's
right.
an electrical system.
And we're part of it. I used to laugh at people when they say, "Oh, Gaia, the Earth is alive." I'm like, "Shut up!" Right? But the Earth is alive. Everything's alive. Tree huggers. You gotta hug trees. There's nothing.
Yeah, man.
Nothing for you. And
yeah,
live in this electrical system. Everything in the sky is alive. It's all connected to us. The position of the wandering stars, aka planets, for those of you that don't know, all of that affects everything. And your thoughts create physical reality. So I don't know what this place is, but it isn't what they told us, right? And it's amazing.
Right.
Amazing.
It's
electromagnetic world. The episode of Star Trek I watched every episode multiple times growing up. Didn't miss any of them. Love space. The one where Kirk and the crew went down to this place and whatever they thought of immediately materialized, right?
Right. Good or bad. Yeah.
Good or bad. And that's the world that we live in. We luckily for us, we have a time buffer, right?
Right.
Because if everything you thought of materialized, you'd be dead in minutes.
Yeah. There's an old poem about that, about the guy that goes and sits under the wishing tree and he only gets like 3 wishes before he's dead because he doesn't know how to manifest, so he's like thinking very materialistically and ends up killing himself.
I feel like this is practice right now.
Yeah,
it is.
sure.
It's a training school. It's a training school. Do you hear about the Irish guy that got a genie and it said you get 3 wishes? And he goes, "Oh, I don't believe it." He goes, "Try anything." He goes, "I want a stein of beer that instantly refills itself forever." Boom. He drinks it down, puts it down, it refills. He's like, "Whoa." And the genie goes, "What else do you want?" He goes, "I'll take 2 more of those."
That's on track. Not stereotypical at all.
No, I'm very, you know what? It's all right. I make jokes about myself. It's okay.
Yeah, us too. You got to be open like that. Yeah, for sure. We do not comprehend fully where we are, but I will just say, for me, the biggest a freedom from mind control is getting to the flat earth, but the best result of realizing going from believe, it's right in there in the Masonic language, being the lie, it's right in there when you believe, going from that to having gnosis about the true earth, the real earth, the flat plane that we live on, the biggest result of that for me is it reveals the creator. Because there is no way, if there was a big bang, that we got this from a big bang. There's no way that that could possibly happen.
You can flat Earth proves creation, right? And I'll tell you, before flat
Absolutely.
Earth, I was I don't want to say the word atheist because that's so crazy to me. That's actually the biggest religion of all. You have to have so much faith to be an atheist. But
I
once you
know, right?
discover flat Earth, you know that air cannot exist next to a vacuum without containment. So whatever space is, a vacuum or not, we can't have air unless there's a container, unless there's a dome. A
Is that
dome.
where you started?
No, I started with boats over the horizon. Then I got
Me
into the
too.
dome and everything. And so the fact that we can breathe shows that there's a creator and there's no choice. There's a verse in the Bible that says, once you see my creation, you can no longer deny my existence. And
Right.
because that's the truth. Once you see the flat earth, so that's why they adamantly are fighting to suppress this information and to stop us.
Yeah.
Because once you see it, you literally disconnect from their satanic system,
Yeah.
and it is a satanic system.
Yeah, absolutely. And all of their lies rest on that. It's not only the big one, it's the main one.
Yeah.
And once you bust that, the curtain in the Wizard of Oz, right? The curtain with the old decrepit Mason behind the curtain
Right.
is revealed. You know what I
You
mean?
said you're talking about belief with the lie in it. Belief is the enemy of knowing. My friend Crow 777 Radio. Do you listen to Crow?
We
Crow.
have, not
Yeah,
religiously, but we have, yeah.
he's I was telling people for years. I said, you know, the 12 years of school you go through is just indoctrination camp. Then you pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to go deeper. And
Yeah.
colleges were created because, oh, this one professor, you got to go see him. So you got to travel across the country. We have the internet now. We don't need to go anywhere. Right. So
Exactly.
I was saying, don't send your kids to college. Put them in, college experience is more of a social thing. I said, get a bunch of kids, put them in a house, like out on Cape Hatteras in South Carolina or something. Right. And have them just listen to one Crow episode a day. That's it. And discuss it
Yeah.
on Friday. And bunch of people did it. They said their kids stopped playing video games. They got interested in life. They're starting their own businesses. They literally woke up from being these brainwashed, television watching, game playing, useless eaters, as the legal say. And so I recommend people do that. On my app, I have the homeschool section, which has tons of stuff in there. And for those of you that don't know Crow, that's not the homeschool, that's the shopping section. The homeschool section, all sorts of stuff. I don't know. Have you guys interviewed Darius J. Wright? He's an outer.
I've watched some of his stuff. We like him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very, very interesting. There's all sorts of stuff in here. But again, one thing when you become a flat earther, the word bored is no longer exists.
You can't.
There's
because it opens so many doors. It opens all the doors.
Zero time. There's zero time. Right. I wished I had more time to research, and I got insomnia, so now I had like 6 extra hours a day. It was it just happened. Like it literally happened.
For us, we've been experiencing time like speeding up. It's not just getting older either.
It's all of us. Yeah.
Which is also, and I always preface, we're not into religion, but finding the true earth, having gnosis of the flat plane earth that we live on, did bring us into prophecy in the Bible and other sources, indigenous sources.
Absolutely. You're right.
That is biblical, actually, that in these end days and the end of this fourth world, that time would be sped up or there'd be no flesh left spared on the earth because of all these kill towers and all of the the poisons in the food, the air, everything, right? So we're definitely experiencing time speeding up. I
Yeah.
have a specific Crow 777 question for you.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that, or probably the thing that propelled him into viral videos and everybody knowing his name was his video discovery of the lines going through the
He
moon,
called it the lunar wave.
lunar wave, which to me, and this is my question, which seems so odd to me because from what I remember, the wave is a straight line
There's
going
two of them.
straight,
They always come in pairs too.
but they're straight, right? They're straight lines that go
Straight
through,
lines.
which
Yeah.
makes me wonder. Of course, we wonder everything about the
Yep.
moon. Is it plasma? Is it all this? But if it was even if it was a dish and not a full sphere, but it's curved, how would those lines go straight across? That's what do you think
Well,
about
you're
that?
only looking at 2 or 3 degrees. The moon is the moon is like 3 moonwidths is 1 degree. So you're only looking at a tiny little space. So there could be curvature. We wouldn't see it. It's such a small thing. Like if you were looking at a millimeter of a hula hoop, you wouldn't really see the curve very much.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying? So
tell us more about what you think the moon is, because that's a big.
I'm not going to rule out cheese.
I
I don't know what the moon is, but let me tell you about the moon. The official story of the moon should turn you into a flat earther, but the moon, when there's a new moon, there's no moon. No one is at once the moon goes dark. Nobody from any angle with any optics from the International Fake Station with a Hubble telescope, no one has ever seen the moon for. I think it's 42 hours. Is like it's gone for 42 hours. Where is it? Is it a new moon? Right. And
right.
the moon cycle, there used to be moons were 28 days. Every moon started on a Monday, ended on a Sunday.
And 13 of them.
13 of them, and then one April 1st, April Fool's Day to reset the year. And the women's cycles get synced up with the moon. People go a little crazy during full moons. Parasites feast during full moons and new moons. Okay, with the parasites
Really?
in your body, yeah.
That.
So, do you guys know about intermittent fasting a little bit? You've done a little experiment with that.
Yes.
They say, and I should really start doing it, is you should fast for 24 or 36 hours during every full moon and every new moon. So every 2 weeks, you fast, and if you do that, you'll live as long as Noah. All right, that's what they said.
Whoa.
But we'll see.
And then I don't want to live that long here.
Yeah, and another thing. Well, that's true too. Another thing is the manifestation cycle. If you set your intentions during a new moon, really set them, get them clear, and then during the 2 weeks of waxing, invest your emotions into it and think about it and really go. And then when the full moon happens, be joyful and grateful that you already have it, whether you see it or not, whether it's manifested physically in front of you, and enjoy it. And then for the next 2 weeks, when it's waning, you let go of any tensions or issues that you have. You let it go. That's the cycle of manifestation. That's why in my opinion, that's why they changed the calendar. That's why they changed daylight savings time to throw us all off whack. My clock, the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. You can find it at flatearthdave.com. The hour hand is the sun, and it goes around once every 24 hours. So they said, let's give the peasants clocks, but we're going to make it go around twice a day so they never figure out where they live. Right? The hour hand is the clock. Wherever the sun is, it's noon, and it's midnight across from it.
Right.
The sun keeps track of the hours and the days. The moon keeps track of the weeks and the months, and the stars keep track of the seasons and the years. The stars will lap the sun once a year, so 365 laps around. It'll lap the sun, so the sun will drift back through each zodiac for about a month at a time. And it's a perfect clock. And you know how perfect it is? It's more accurate than a Swiss watch. You know how I can prove that? Because the stars and the sun and the moon are what time is. So the watch has to match that.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Wasn't there now? There's a tower clock somewhere that I saw that actually has multiple hands on it, and it kind of looks like that. It's with the zodiac,
The Prague clock.
and yeah.
This boy, this baby right here.
Yes.
Yeah. So the Prague clock. Here's a better shot of it.
Oh, that's
It's
great.
got the 26,000 year cycle. It's got everything. It's amazing. But right here behind it is like this flat Earth map. It kind of looks like the moon map a little bit. And
Mm.
in Prague, everything you can see a little better here.
Right.
So you got
Oh,
this
perfect.
this crazy map in there. In Prague, everything is so historic. Like if you want to put a new fence post or a mailbox in your yard, you got to go through like 12 different committees. And, okay, they're trying to, but the Prague clock, the oldest clock in the world, they changed the back without even telling anybody. No committee,
Oh,
nothing. And look what
of
they changed it
course.
to, a globe.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
well, that tells
Wow.
everything.
What jerks. Oh my God.
Isn't that
Wow.
incredible? It's
It's
incredible.
not surprising,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah. And
Wow.
it's the
Some
oldest
people think,
working clock in the world.
That's in
that's
Prague. I'll
really cool.
remember that now. It
Yeah.
is exactly the one I was talking about. I wasn't sure where it was at.
Yeah.
Some people think that the moon is a reflection of the flat Earth.
Yeah,
So
what do you think about that?
yeah, so again, I did not rule it out. Let me see, moon map.
Mm.
There it is. So here's the moon. They inverted it, they flipped it, and
Okay.
it there's a channel called Vibes of the Cosmos. I actually did an interview with a guy, and he literally laid it out. The time zones work, the distances work. It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's crazy. Now, this doesn't
Mm.
look exactly like our map, but it's a projection, right? All maps are different. There's a video on my channel. If you have the app, just search moon map video and it'll come right up. Otherwise, you have to find it on my Flat Earth Dave Interviews 2 channel. But and people say it's a reflection of the Earth. I don't think reflection is the right word, right? So we live in this green area. Our North
Okay.
Pole is right here on this red line. But the North Pole,
Mm,
say it's migrating, it does. It goes 26,000 years around, right?
really?
That's what they call the wobble of the Earth, right? So in
Okay.
12 and 13,000 years, the North Pole will be here, and our pond will be here, and this will all be frozen. Maybe that's why all
And
the
s-
elite are running to New Zealand right now.
and so does that also mean that the map on or the reflection on the moon also changes?
Well, there's a lot of claims. I don't. The moon it looks different than it used to. Like, where did the man on the moon go? Remember him? Okay, he's gone.
Right. Now we got like the
Yeah.
alligator or the
Yeah.
bunny
So,
rabbit
so
ears.
maybe it changes. Maybe our consciousness is changing it. You know,
Huh.
we're told, the sun, don't look at the sun and everything. Sun gazing is the best thing you can do.
Yes,
Sun,
sir.
the sun, I believe, is responsible for our consciousness. Without the sun, I think we don't have any consciousness.
I'll
Hmm.
tell you something very interesting, and it got whitewashed as far as I can see. I can never find it again, but this was back in 2009 or 2010, and maybe somebody out there will hear this and try this experiment. This fella bought a USB microscope, just simple microscope you plug in to your computer, and he was going over his arm hairs, right? And he was showing people that not every single hair on his arm, but out of a lot of them, like maybe let's just say 60 or 70% of his hairs, the hair was there, but a little tiny, almost looked like a hair also coming up. And he was showing people what are the bits from
The
the
photons?
photons. He said it captures the energy from the sun, and you can watch. And this is
We are
2009 or 10, so this isn't
humans. We are light
or
beings.
human. Yeah,
Yes, we're
yeah,
humans. We're light beings. There's, have you heard of breatharians? People that don't eat or drink,
yeah.
they just breathe and get sunlight. I didn't
They're
believe
studying a man at a university for
I didn't
years
believe it. I
now.
thought it was all nonsense until I've met people. And David Avocado Wolf. I don't know if you know who he is. Great, great naturalist, truther.
Yes.
He was living with a guy that hadn't eaten, I think, in 7 years or 17 years. Either way,
Wow.
it doesn't matter. If you go seven,
I
we
want
go
to do that.
17. No food, no
Right.
drink, no water. Like, or very
Right.
little water. You can't even conceive of that. Like, I just drink water now because I can't get through the show without water. That could just be the
Right.
belief system I have.
True.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
have to
That's
drink
amazing.
coffee every day according to my belief system. Yeah.
Well, you're addicted to the caffeine.
I am addicted to the
That's a
caffeine.
chemical addiction.
True, true. Yeah, so the photon thing, and they were studying this fellow who is a East Indian man, and his explanation. This is a guy that kept him at this university, put him up there, and partially to check on his claim that he wasn't putting anything in his mouth, drinking or anything. And they studied him for a while, and he said he gets this energy from the sun, and then it develops something in his throat, like little egg thing every once in a while, and that's where the sun makes this in his throat, and then he swallows it, and that's where his body gets his nutrients. It's all from the sun. That was this
People
fellow's
don't
claim.
understand that I guess alchemy is that the word in our body. Like, you make elements from other elements. Like, a chicken doesn't eat enough calcium to lay eggs,
Mm.
but the eggs are made of calcium. Where's the calcium
Right?
Yeah.
coming from? Right?
Yeah.
If you look at gold mines, they're the veins they call them. They're more like roots. They're the roots of trees,
Mm.
and
Sure.
the tree is where the gold comes from. The giant trees are what have the gold in them, and then the gold has sap. The tree has sap, and that turns into quartz, and it's all alive. All of this stuff is alive. There's people there's these guys out west that they're just like, okay, that's a tree, there's mountain. They go to the base and they start digging and they find gold because they know where to
Absolutely.
look. Yeah.
And we've discovered too that several of these so-called mines are excavations into old pre-Tartarian, much more giant buildings that we now call mountains. I'm not saying every mountain is a melted building, but a lot of them are. And
Yeah.
that's the ones in the know, the Masons in the know, they drill into these old melted buildings and just the one out in I think it was in Texas where they had the giants out there.
Yeah.
Also, the Tales of the Giants, Ludwig or something like that. But they were excavating. It was a mine, but they're taking old
Yeah.
Right.
pottery and
I
gold
think there's more
base.
stuff underground than there is above ground, right? All of these, every time they
Yes,
find like an underground city or something, they build a military base there immediately, and it's off limits to the public.
Mm.
So all these, so if you want to
absolutely.
know where all the underground cities are, look at where all the military bases are. On my app,
Mm.
I have an old world page. You click the Griffin, and there's all sorts of stuff there. And the reason I was bringing that up was you were talking about, oh, what was the reason? Um, the giant trees. I got a great giant tree section. Have you seen Hangman 1127 or whatever his channel is? It's in here. He is finding these trees in the Midwest here that are like, he estimated one of them to be 80 miles in circumference.
Devil's Tower is the best
Okay.
good example
Devil's
of that.
Tower is a weed next to this thing.
Oh,
Okay.
no shit.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
it's like a little weed. And there's great stuff here. One of my favorite channels you follow, My Lunch Break on YouTube. Everybody write that down.
Okay.
Okay.
My
He
lunch
he
break.
looks into these old buildings and tells you the official story, and then shows you the nonsense, and
Wow.
it'll change your life. And another great place to start is right up here. Our history in a different view, and it is, this guy did a phenomenal job. Oh, I remember the reason I wanted to bring you here was biogeology. My friend Mike in Spain, he is showing, he's done videos on titans that are turned into mountains. So there's a mountain near him. I think it's called
Right.
Mount Gok or something. Don't
That's like the mud fossil guy.
Yeah, well, he's the next level above the mud fossil guy. There's this mountain,
Okay.
looks like a giant elephant, the trunk and everything, and the ear and the eye, right?
I've
But
seen
I
it.
understand
Yeah.
what paradox, what's it called? When you see things that aren't there. pareidolia.
Yeah, you think
Right.
it, see a, yeah.
So he went up there, and other people have done this too. Excavated, went into the eye, and he studied the anatomy of an elephant's eye. He said, "Okay, there's these veins and there's these connections, and all those tunnels were there, all of them, like
Oh,
Oh, wow.
20 some odd things that had to be there for it to be there, and it was there."
Wow.
And then Google Earth started hiding it, like you can't see the eye anymore on Google Earth. They changed it, and
of
the ear,
course. Yeah.
and it's just like when I met him years ago at a Flat Earth conference. He's like, "Dave, you got to watch this video." And he sent me the video, and I didn't watch it for a couple of weeks. And finally, I watched it. I'm like, yeah. He goes, "Dave, you got to watch the second one." I'm like, I didn't really buy the first one, right? Then I watched the second one, and I went, huh. Then he put
Yeah.
the third
Yeah.
one, and I'm like, damn it.
Yes, I know.
And there's no way out. There's no once you see
Yeah.
that's the problem is you can lead a man to knowledge, but you can't make him watch a video to learn anything.
That's so true. I
Yeah.
was exactly the same way with the flat Earth, actually, but I was
We all were
exactly the
that way.
same way with the
Yeah.
Mud Fossil University guy. And he may be the beginning step, but so much is there. So much.
Yeah.
It's
It's
just it's uncanny.
so I always forget who it was. It was either Eddie Bravo or Sam Tripoli that said when they discovered the flat Earth, they were kind of depressed because they were like, "I'm never going to have an aha moment like that again. That's it. There's nothing bigger, right?" And I was kind of
Right.
like,
But that's
"That's true. It's not true." When you discover
not
the flat
true.
Earth, you could start seeing the other things. I'm like, I
Yeah.
It's just a
go out.
domino effect.
It's I can't go outside without looking around and going, how did I miss that my whole life? I live in the same town my whole life. And I was looking at these buildings. I'm like, how did I not question it? I went into that cathedral or whatever you want to call it, and I didn't question like how the hell did they do this with chisels? Okay.
Right.
In the
Yeah.
1700s or whatever.
Well, you just take their word for it. Your elders, your parents, whatever taught you. You figure, well, they know what they're talking about, right?
Yeah.
And then the Masons get real busy making all the documentaries showing you how to use leverage and, and
Right.
they take a brass, yeah,
Why would you
so
even
stupid.
bother? Here, so what's your take on you've looked into the old world, you've seen the incredible buildings, you've seen the underground stuff. It's beyond the carvings out of solid marble like that we couldn't even do today. How do you think they built it?
Yeah, absolutely.
How do they build it?
They had technology that's not even what we call technology. I know everything that's under the title of technology here is all Luciferian, all of it, even the pencil. When you study what the Fallen taught everybody, one of the things was not to use your third eye to do things and manifest. They wanted to shut that down. We all communicated that way across everywhere, across the whole plane. They taught mankind, among other evil things, how to write. They taught us how to write out language. So even the pencil, the technology of pencil
Ah,
is technically Luciferian. I think it's hard to get past the word technology so I won't. The technology of the far past was all mental. It's the reason why when they do the X-14 radioactive dating of the stones, the interior stones of the pyramids, the ones on the bottom are newer than the ones on the top. So it means the pyramids possibly were
we're
built from the
built from the
top
top
down, which
down. Yeah, I've heard that.
could be done by your
Yeah,
mind.
maybe it was like more etheric,
Right.
like they were working from the ether.
And there's
And there's
angels on in these carvings, everything that some stories are that the angels assisted them in making it. I always say, God throws down this incredible realm. He makes this incredible realm. What's he going to throw Adam and Eve out there and go, here's a fig leaf. I hope you find fire,
Right.
or did he lay down some infrastructure? Maybe.
right. I think
Why
that's
not?
what a lot of the stuff that is now called mountains, but there's some great examples in some of our live streams where I showed in a movie. It's like a war movie about Iraq and it's about Afghanistan actually. So they're shooting the movie in Afghanistan, and there's a section of a mountain where you can see they blew away the top of it, and it reveals two perfectly square caves, but they're square. It's a melted building, and this is the
Right.
interior of the building.
Yeah.
And this stuff dwarfs Tartaria, which was also made for humans or mankind. The human thing, I think they call us humans as derogatory. It's a hue of our former selves. So we're not man, we're human, a lesser version. I've also heard the Satanists, the SRA folks who broke out of that, saying the same thing. It's sort of a mocking term to call us human, like we're not quite full. But mankind in Tartaria, all of those buildings, we have one here actually in Uruguay, South America. It's called a hotel now, but it's built clearly. I even was in there once and had a room. It's clearly built for someone who's 10 to 15 feet tall, the whole thing. But this stuff dwarfs that. So possibly whatever mankind was pre-Tartaria, which I think was all melted down by the fallen, we might have been way taller than 10 or 15. That might be munchkins.
Did you ever study what's up and what's going on in North Korea? North Korea.
I've seen the video from the poor gal who escaped North Korea and talked all about it and the torture and all. Yeah, how horrific.
Not that. The buildings that were there. There's buildings taller than the New York City World Trade Towers, right? And they're hundreds of years old. Like incredible,
I have not heard that.
Incredible stuff. And I think that's why all of these stories are going. I didn't hear that story you're hearing, but my first guess with zero information is that's just to make people never want to go there, right? I think that there might be some sort of old world civilization there.
Yeah. So incredible. All this is so nuts, isn't it? It's so nuts.
It's all nuts, and we're nuts because that's how normal people see them. It's incredible.
Let me ask you a question about your app.
Go ahead.
Is there any chance, because Bonnie and I are pretty much, we know about the mind control mixed up with the signal, like from They Live, the signal, the documentary They Live, it's coming from the towers. So personally, we choose for ourselves not to use cell phones. Is there any chance that you have or will have, please, the app for desktop?
Yes, it's coming. We're working on it. It just it takes time and money, so I'm working on it. It's in the works.
Excellent.
The app the app does a lot of things, but it helps. One of the biggest things on it is it helps bring people together, right? Because, like in your town, are there other people that are awake? I assume you've got a crowd. So you got a lot of people that are awake.
Every expat that moved to Uruguay from North America that we've met is very awake. And that's why they got out of Mystery Babylon.
This is the Northeast here, and it's going to show you where these are the people that have my app. So I can literally click on them. I can look at their profile. I can send a message. So I click on somebody's name, and I can look at their profile. I can send them a message. I can send out a radius message. Everybody within 50 miles, I'm having a meetup. And they'll all get a ping on their app that says, hey, there's a meetup at Joe's Bar and Grill Saturday at 4:00.
Wow, man.
And it's absolutely amazing. And then there's a dating of I call it the matchmaker. So let me
perfect. So you don't have to divorce the person you're with when they're not awake and they think you're crazy.
Here's the thing: if you have a flat earther and a globe earther in a relationship, the globe earther has zero hope. They might have hope, zero chance that the person's going to come back. The flat earther says if the person has two brain cells and they just listen, they're going to wake up. So the flat earther is in the advantage. But you set your birth year. I have mine set, so I'm 1 year old, so I don't show up in anybody's search. I'm a male. I'm interested in females in between this age group. I hit search, and there's 22 people within the 150-mile radius, and I could swipe from person to person. I could send them a message. And it's fantastic. People are becoming best friends. People have gotten married. People have had babies. People have, gotten together. New groups of friends. It's absolutely a super thing. And another thing we have is the meetup maker. So I could say meetups within 500 miles. I'll just go easy. And there's 4 right now. And you could see these meetups and meet up with people.
No doubt.
And I tell people, if you have the app, go down here and say, alert me of local meetups. You put in your email address and you say what radius you want. And then if somebody sets a meetup, you'll get an email saying, hey, there's a meetup, link, click.
That's so cool, Dave.
All the contact. And that's what it's about. It's about bringing people together. But the app really started, about it was all based around the frequently asked questions page, where when
Right,
people have
right.
questions,
FAQ.
they're all here. They're all here. Why the lie? What about tides? What are ships over the horizon? All the videos are there that are all being hidden from Google by Google.
Well, for now, I'm going to hack an emulator onto my desktop and get your app on
If
there.
you
But
have an iPad or anything by any chance, or it works
we
cool.
don't use any of that
You
stuff.
don't
We
use
don't
any of
even
that
use
stuff.
Wi-Fi. Yeah, it's all
Do you have a Mac computer?
No,
Well,
it's all at
Mac with the
Microsoft.
M1, you can get the app on there somewhat, but
Okay.
you can try it on an emulator. Let me know if it works.
I'll try
But
it on the Samsung emulator and see if I can grab
yeah,
it. Now,
on my
tell us about
website,
the
Flutter,
cost.
the app is $3 one time charge. You get everything except the flashcards, the matchmaker, the profiles, and being able to send messages, and being able to use the search feature in the images. You have to have a subscription for that, but the subscription is $11 per year. Okay.
Super fair.
You ever
Super fair.
people are like, oh, I'm not spending $11 a year. Who wants a round of shots? And they'll spend like $90 on shots, right?
Right, exactly.
But in the friend finder, the middle button up here, if you go in there, you'll have a random number for a referral. Just click the pencil, change it to something easy, anything 7 characters or less. And then when you try flat smack people, when you send them a flashcard, when you show them an image, when you share a video, they'll go, where do I get that app? Everyone that's interested in Flat Earth goes, where do I get the app? To say, hey, when you download it, it's going to ask if you have a referral code, and you put in your referral code, and then you get a point.
Okay.
And if you get 11 points, you can trade it in for a year subscription.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
And another thing,
I like the way you designed this whole thing. It's amazing.
If you're into crypto, you put in your crypto address here, your wallet address, and your MetaMask or your Internet Money wallet address, and every point you get $1 million Dome coins. What's $1 million Dome coins worth? A couple bucks.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
This sort of brings me to my next question, and I'll say one more time, please do the desktop app.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I can't wait.
So
I'm
awesome.
working on it. Yeah.
Okay. So, one thing after we did our first Flat Earth live stream a while back, and I think that's when Karen introduced us to each other, and we had a few emails back and forth. You had mentioned something about, it's great to do Flat Earth videos, but then where do you send them? So talk about that. Like if somebody's watching this interview, it's the first thing they've ever seen about Flat Earth, and they're just on the fence totally. What should they do?
Here's the thing. If you wake up somebody and you show them a whole bunch of good things, they're like, wow, I got to go home and look at this. They're going to go home and Google, and the next day they're going to be globe earthers because they're going to get tired. They're going to get fed up. Their ego is like, oh, that guy, they're talking so confidently. And, and you're going to get fed just the trolls, just the government propped up trolls. You'll never find any of the good stuff. So, you can point them anywhere. A great place to point them is flatearthdave.com. On the top, you can click Flat Earth videos, and you say, go to the must-see videos. And there are all the videos. Every day there's a featured video. Every day, hand-selected, sorted by month and day and year, back to 2018. So all the good videos are there. Cool. So you don't just start going through there. If you want to be more direct, scroll down and you'll see a big picture of me and it says Crash Course. Click that puppy. And those are the top documentary style movies, all different kinds. And here's a challenge. I say you cannot watch the first 3 or 4 of those movies and not end up being a flat earther. I think it's scientifically impossible because
I agree.
If somebody doesn't believe in hammers and then you put their hand on the desk and you start hammering it with the hammer, how many times do you have to hit it before they believe in hammers? Okay? Because, well, every one of those videos, and another thing is they're done beautifully. Sean Hibbler does great movies. Oh, that's something I wanted to mention to you because you mentioned chemtrails earlier. Sean did a series called Level with that had Eric Tabay in it, right?
Yes.
Then the next one was The Next Level. I think I was in that one. And then the
We
next
have those on our website.
level with
Great.
me, and I think I'm that's the one I'm in also.
Right.
And they're fantastic. He's such an incredible movie maker. But he's coming out.
Sean, give us his name again, Sean.
Sean Hibbeler, Hibbeler, right?
Okay.
And he's literally in the finishing up the credits on a movie. He's putting it out on the Stu Peters network called Climate Trails. It's going to end the debates. It's going to
very good.
And the timing couldn't be better with what's going on in the world right now. With these crazy geoengineered storms and everything. But this thing's gonna come out. And when it comes out, you just share it everywhere. Everyone needs to share it because I've been screaming about climate engineering for 3 decades now, and I was told I was crazy. Now, the people that told me I was crazy, even though they admit it, they have patents for it, they admit that they're doing it, they still think I'm crazy. You can't wake up somebody that's that deeply lost inside their own mind.
No. And another thing about chemtrailing is it's something to do with the way the mind works and the specifically the mind controlled mind, right? When we're trying to break out of that. When you first notice for sure that these are not what do they call it? Contrails, that these are sprayed chemicals, you go, oh wow, and your brain sort of assumes this is a new thing.
Yeah.
I just noticed it, so this must be kind of new. We found, and it's much older than this, when we discovered that they're chemtrails, we started looking through old stuff. So we looked through our old yearbooks, and we looked through a yearbook of Bonnie's back when she was in grade school or high school?
High school, so 1980s.
In 1980s, and sure enough, chemtrails in the background. And then since then, we found them even before that, earlier than that.
But it wasn't anything like it is now. Now they just blame the sky. And so they do it slowly. They build it up slowly over decades. We can't fathom plants that are 30, 40, 50, 100 years. We can't fathom it because we're, but they have these plans that are way out there.
Yeah. What do you think about, the fallen and the whole story of the fallen being sent down here, cast down here, and that's where all of this started?
I like it. I mean, it makes sense to me. I'll say it that way. I think there's like 200 fallen angels, right? 200,
right. That's what
there's 200 major craters on the Earth. Did you know that?
I did not know that, but that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that that's what happened, but maybe that's what happened. And people say, "Who are they? Who are they?" Well, we have the Trilateral Commission, the Bilderberg Group. When people say, "Who are they?" The people that we see are the United Nations Council of Foreign Relations, the Trilateral Commission, World Institute of International Affairs, Club of Rome, and I said that already, Bilderberg Group.
Right.
Those are just the puppets. I think they're just puppets. Right. I think the real leaders are in the lands that we don't have access to. Maybe they're in North Korea. Maybe they're outside of the shoreline of Antarctica. They don't want us going out there. Maybe we would find more land out there, more civilizations. We have some army and military whistleblowers that said they worked in Antarctica and there's cities of millions of people there.
Wow.
That are not allowed to communicate with us. Yeah. Now, is that the outer lands or what is it? I don't know.
Exactly. Did you have something you wanted?
Yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about Mount Meru, which is at the center of the flat Earth plane, and the sun and the moon rotate around it.
Yeah.
So my question is about the moon cycle, the 28 days, and of course, the Globers say that, well, that shadow on the moon is from the Earth. Well, that's not.
No.
Sure.
The phases of the moon are from the angle of the sun. The shadow from the Earth is an eclipse. A lot of people get that wrong. And the Globers don't even know their own model. And it's not the shadow is the angle of the sun. The reason we have a full moon right now is because the sun is directly on it.
Okay.
directly across.
So question is, like
That,
when the moon is half full,
yeah.
why is the line of the shadow is straight down? It's a straight line. And so what is that a shadow? What is causing that? Is that Mount Meru
I don't think
that's
it's.
causing that?
I think that the sun and the moon are the anode and cathode of an electrical system, and the moon is getting its power from the sun. Solar panels work by the
Okay.
theory of solar panels is just nonsense. Scientists don't even know how they work because they don't know that the sun is close and sending electricity, and it's just gathering the electricity, right? But the moon looks spherical to me, right? I don't know if it is. It could just be a disk, and it is making its own light. So the sun is putting electricity on the moon, and the moon is lighting up. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know exactly how it works. But the phase of the moon is correlated to the sun. The phase of the moon is correlated to the position of the sun. But there's a week every month where the lit side of the moon is pointing like that way, and the sun is down here, and it doesn't line up. So I don't know.
And also, what about the stars? Stars, interesting. God is dog spelled backwards. I always throw this out here. And star is rat spelled backwards. Kind of seems like we might have got that from somebody who screwed up the whole dynamics of the true flat Earth for us and made the globe, along with the 6.66 tilt. But what do you think about being able to see these lights, these heavenly bodies, through where the moon should be?
Well,
You know what I'm talking about?
yeah, I've seen evidence of that. There's lots of flags, nation flags that show the star showing through where the moon is. I don't believe that the moon is there when it's a crescent, but you can kind of start seeing it manifest. Um,
Mm.
yeah, the moon. So a lot of people say, well, that proves that the moon is transparent or it's not there, or that
Or plasma.
the star is in front of the moon. You ever consider that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could
So
be.
wait a minute, stars
Absolutely.
are trillions of miles away. You can bring a star into focus and the moon into focus and the sun into focus, and then you could switch from any one, and they are all in focus. They're all at the same distance, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jupiter is at the same focal length as the moon, and Jupiter's
Mhm.
300 million miles farther. Okay,
Yeah. It makes no sense.
it's so
Right.
stupid.
And so
And people say
like
I
when you
can't
see
figure
the
it out.
moon and the date,
I say you're not stupid. It's stupid. That's why you can't
it's
figure it
stupid.
out. You're not stupid. It's
That's right. It's like the moon being surrounded by our blue atmosphere, which goes back to Dr. Picard, who went up in his sphere almost to the firmament and saw the flat plane Earth, his words, a flat plane with upturned edges. The missing info that I'm not aware of, the Dr. Picard, it's not there,
yeah.
is that flat plane with the turned up edges. Did that contain the ice wall? Again, the ice wall inside with our little 7 continents and then more outside, or was it, like the
Well,
Torah view?
he
And
said
all
that he saw the flat plane with an upturned edge. Boy, you must have had a
right,
really clear day. He must have had a really clear
Yeah.
day, and maybe he was up higher than he said. That's what I think the Earth looks like. And maybe we don't even know what a clear day is because of all of the spraying for the last 5 or 7 or 10
True.
decades.
for sure. And
Yeah,
one more interesting point of Dr. Picard is he took samples of the ether. He didn't necessarily call it ether, but the gases up there, and they were blue. His samples that he took through the sphere he was in, the gases up there were blue.
yeah. Well, we do know there's a lot of nitrogen up there, and the electricity from the sun excites the nitrogen, and nitrogen turns blue. So daylight is
Mhm.
literally the excited nitrogen in the sky. Some people think
Wow.
it's the waters above. I think it's the nitrogen. Could be a combination of both. You know,
Mhm.
Right.
it's not always
Right.
one explanation. No, we look at the moon. We could see this crater on the bottom, the Tycho crater. It's only 40 miles wide, 237,000 miles. Do the math. You can see something 40
Yeah.
miles wide. It's the
Yeah.
Exactly.
dumbest thing ever. And then,
Back to the airplanes, and you can't see the little engine
yeah,
when the plane is so close.
it's so
Exactly.
crazy. It's so crazy. And then we see the
Absolutely.
moon in the sky, and it's kind of like blue, like at night these are black. It's
Mhm.
it's bizarre.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Right.
And I also like, I don't know if you studied much of Enoch or not. I mean, I would assume that you probably have, But Enoch describes the stars, rat spelled backwards, as angels.
Yep.
And I have some new experiences now that I've talked about with our, followers and everything where this will sound crazy to everybody probably, but when I go outside of something new, a shift in my own consciousness from my own personal ascension by replacing mind control with gnosis. But for me now, I have gnosis that these stars, these heavenly bodies are alive. Like they literally speak, they literally communicate with me. I can hear them. And when I focus, they told me they call it the old sight. And when I focus on one and I lock in, it's a thing that sort of clicks in my own mind. I can hear them. They light up different for me, and I can see the firmament behind them. And they have to stay pretty much in the location they're at, but they will move a little bit around, for me, like for me.
Yeah, amazing.
And
there's so much of that. So many people are syncing up with that or are able to do that. Does this look like a burning ball of hydrogen 200 light years away?
yeah, absolutely not.
Absolutely. And it's amazing. And it's interesting. Do freeze frames of this, and then look for images in here. It's crazy what you'll see. It's
a lot of cymatic.
Yeah.
And again, that's not necessarily some telescope looking millions and millions of light years away. That's like a P90 or something, regular camera, right?
Yeah, that's a P1000.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
nuts.
It's
beautiful.
It's wild. It's wild. And here is this one. This one's Beetlejuice. Everyone's different,
Wow.
And
I think that this is where original mankind, well, of course, we were able to communicate back and forth with our creator in the first heaven, right above the firmament, literally just right there, right? But I think this is why so many structures, even after the destruction came from the fallen and they melted these big buildings into mountains and all of this, even after that, far after that, mankind, even if we're already like a hue of our former selves, we were building these cathedrals with the cymatics. And there's a woman who went around. I can't remember her name right now, but maybe if I could find it, I'll put it in the description, the links here in this video. She went around to all these different cathedrals that had these cymatics in the front and started. She would go there when there's nobody there, get permission to record. And she found when she took the same recording and stacked it enough times and then reviewed it every single time, scientifically repeatable, the cymatic that came of those recordings was exactly the same one on the front of the building.
Wow.
In the frequency, same exact frequency.
And what was she recording?
Time.
She was just recording the sound?
Just dead air. Yeah, nobody in there, just dead air. And she would set her devices up and leave, so there's no humans, and the whole building just empty.
So we were talking about stars before. I wanted to hit on this. So when you look up in the sky and you see Sirius, it's a nice sized star, and you see Orion, it's smaller. It's smaller, right? You can zoom in with your P1000, and it fills up a good part of the screen. It's this big. Well, you can zoom in on this one too, and it's almost the same size, right? That's amazing, right?
Yeah, but there's supposed to be
50 trillion miles away, and my 125 zoom can make it that much bigger. Okay, let's pretend that's a real thing. Okay, well, this one is 52 million times farther. It's not 50 trillion times 2. It's 50 trillion times 52 million.
Wow.
And we could still zoom it in and still see it, right? And the problem is people can't even conceive of that. That number right there, I can't even fathom what that number is.
No.
I think it was Himmler who said, the bigger the lie, the easier it is to get the humans to
lie big or go home.
Right, exactly.
That's where that came from.
So amazing.
Yep.
Yeah. We're getting close towards the end here, so I want to give you the opportunity to, what what's the biggest things? I mean, we've covered a lot of bases here, but is there anything for you, because you've had so much experience doing all these interviews? Is there
Here,
anything we're missing?
here's the thing. Everyone without exception, whether you have a social media presence or not, or whatever, you don't have to have a show. You just have to be able to talk to people. Talk to people. Don't attack them. Ask questions. Let them ask questions. And if you don't know the answer, don't guess. Just say, you know what, I don't know, but let me find out for you. And take the time. If everybody could wake up one person a month, a year, a week, a day, this entire system will break. This is what they're afraid of, right? Let's say we said something on this podcast and it went viral and everyone on earth saw it. Game over. Governments are all finished. It's all over, right? Governments
Yeah,
are a fiction. They're just a belief system, like money. It's just a belief system. I can get
yeah,
somebody 100. I can go to a native in middle of the Amazon and give them a stack of $100 bills, and they'd be like, "What am I going to do with this? Start a fire?"
start a fire with it.
It's a belief system, right? I
Yeah,
give
yeah,
you $100, and you can give me something that you think is worth $100, and we're like, "Oh, that's cool." Right. And it works
yeah,
because you know that you can give that $100 to somebody else and get something that you need. It's just a belief system. So
yeah.
Right.
we
Government literally means mind control, right?
govern the mind,
Yep.
control the mind. So I just want people to wake other people up. That's why I created the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app to help people educate themselves, find the real information, share it with others, and more importantly, or just as importantly, find others near you. People that do these meetups, they end up doing a monthly or every other month, and they literally just get a whole new circle of real friends. Like when when I go to a meetup,
Hmm.
it's awesome. You can talk to anybody about anything. When I go out in normie world, I hate it. It's just like I go out there, it's like a circus show. I'm like, what
It's
is
dumbed down. The whole
it's
thing's dumbed
dumbed
down.
down beyond belief. Like I was out today and I was in an elevator and I don't even know what it was that walked in the elevator with me. It was the scariest thing ever. I can't even
I know.
describe this.
We see a
I'm
lot of
pretty
that.
sure it was a woman. Okay, but
Yeah,
it's just like I'm sure she was fully boosted and all as well. But it's just
yeah, yeah.
wild what's out there. So wake
I
people up and be nice about it and don't be aggressive and ask questions and the app is just a great way to do it. Send them a card every day. Bam, bam. Here's your morning card, Sally. Let's talk about it at lunch today or whatever. And
Beautiful.
and there anybody that starts, you just plant these little seeds, and they'll all sprout.
I would add to that too that we've dedicated our lives to overturning mind control. We discovered a form of mind control called that we call mnemonic circles or digital mnemonic mind control. We have a lot of interviews we did for people all over the world. There's a purpose to this as well. It's not just so that you'll be a dumb animal, a sheep always looking down and never look up. And it's more than that. When you break free of your mind control, you literally ascending, your spirit, your soul ascends. You are able to uh, experience new levels of existence. That's what the mind control is really for. It's really to stuff people down to ground level.
I know we're wrapping up and I don't want to go to a whole nother rabbit hole, but have you looked into the nanotech that's in our bodies that's controlling us?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, I
so-
have. And the mRNA crap, yeah.
yeah. And have you come up with a protocol to help get rid of it?
We've, for us, we know about the different detox stuff, but please tell us what you know.
So I always look for an easy solution, and it's always something I tried. Have you heard of Masterpiece? It's a zeolite. It's made from ocean plasma and there's coral, I think. Don't get me on the composition. It's all natural. And you put 5 drops under your tongue in the morning and at night, and it literally pulls the toxins out of your body. But they just did a test and they're coming out with a documentary. They took people like in the middle of this, technology free zone in the middle of a field, and then they had a Bluetooth detector, and the people would walk up. People have MAC addresses in them. I took me a long time
Yes,
to believe that, but I've seen it
yes.
now. right? They have MAC addresses in them, and by going on this stuff, taking it, it literally they've eliminated the MAC addresses from them. But here's the thing,
Wow.
and you can detox yourself, but then there's toxins everywhere. They're coming from the sky, they're coming from our food, they're injecting it in your meats and stuff, depending on where you get your meat. So Masterpiece, you can get it on my website, flatearthdave.com, or on the app in the shopping section, and just try it. Just try it for a month or 2 or 3, and it's so easy. It doesn't it tastes good, actually. It tastes like salty water.
Do you know about the logo that's on there?
It's the upside down peace thing. They talked about
Which
what? Go
it's
ahead.
the original Tree of Life. It's the
Yeah,
original
right.
insignia for the Tree of Life, which is why the
Yeah.
jerks inverted it and put it on the humans. Oh, this is the peace sign.
Yeah.
Upside down Tree of Life.
Yeah. So
So amazing. And, we'll do what you want. We don't have to stop at exactly 90 or whatever. You know what I mean?
we can finish up. I'm in no rush. We got a few extra minutes to my last interview today.
Okay.
But
Cool.
but here's the thing. I don't like selling anything, but I'm selling this because I take it. And I want
Right.
people to be able to detox. It's awesome. FlatEarthDave.com. You see a banner for it, or in the app in the shopping section, and check it out. And then one other thing I want to promote, you guys, I don't think you're going to make it. You're a little far away. I'm speaking at the internationaltruthexpo.com with a bunch of other people, and Dr. Andy Kaufman and Ace Baker from the 9/11 movement. I don't know if you know.
Oh, wow. Yeah, of course.
You know Ace. Okay,
Wow.
Ace is awesome. And it's in Arizona, and it's in when is it? November 7th, 8th, and 9th. And you get $50 off with a FE Dave promo code. I don't even get anything for that. I don't think I do. I'm pretty sure I don't. But I don't want anything for it. I just want people to go and meet other people and hear some really good stuff.
That's a cool thing, and a great maybe a great way to towards the end of this to talk about it. That's the difference between the liars, the Masonic liars, and people who have gnosis and are trying to bring the truth. We for years have been doing this without adverts or we're not trying to get money. We've never charged for an interview or any of that. And that's part of the reason we want to do this live with you, because we don't need it to be a recording, so we can go back and edit it and put CGI in and fake the thing. Yeah. That's what the Globers do. They have to be in a studio and fake everything and then throw you the lie as a recording.
It's all about just getting the truth out. Now, people say, Dave, you're selling your app for $3. Yeah, it's $3. But this app it costs 5 figures monthly just to keep it going. And
right.
Luckily, I literally manifested this. I went to college. I worked in corporate America. I escaped corporate America, started my own company, was doing really well, and then I walked away from it all, leaving all the money on the table. To do this, because I said this is a message that needs to go out, or nothing's going to matter. And and I'm not making tons of money. I'm literally like, I'd have your desktop version up and no problem if I was doing better, right? And so
right,
but I only charge $3. I'm never raising the price. I charge $11 for all the features. You get everything, and any future features are included with that $11. And if you can't do the $11, that's a problem, but you can get it for free just by recommending it to other people. So here's my goal. Ready? My goal is for every human that's willing to have a cell phone or an iPad or a computer has this app, because when that happens, they'll all wake up, all governments will fail, and all the money I made will be worthless.
There you go.
Because the whole thing will collapse. The entire thing will collapse.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're ready for that. I know people think you're a little nuts when you say that, but for years now, almost 2 decades now, we've been saying we can't wait for the dollar to collapse. It's the world's largest sigil magic,
This is the first time in my life that I'm not doing something for money. I was brought up, in the East Coast, you got to succeed and you got to work your way to the top. I did all that.
That hustle.
I did it all. I did it. And every motivation was for money, right?
Yes.
Money. I don't even think about money anymore. Luckily, the
mono-eye. Money is mono-eye.
Yeah. Right. I don't think about it anymore. So
it's beautiful. Yeah.
We're
the same way. Before you and I hang up, because the way we have this set up, when we hang up this call, we're going to lose everything. So I just need to say, to all of our local supporters out there tonight when we finish this great interview with our new friend David Weiss from flatearthdave.com. We're not going to be doing a supporters only segment tonight, but we'll be catching up with that next Friday on our next Friday live stream. It's just because once we shut this call, we would literally have to set up a whole new live stream. So when we do end this, and again, there's no rush, we'll end this when David's ready, but just let our supporters know that.
All right. I don't know if there's any other questions in any of the chats, or if you have any other questions. Otherwise, we could just wrap it up.
Yeah. Do you have anything else, my love?
I guess the only thing that's really left in my mind right now, I'm really fascinated with the idea of Mount Meru and the sun and the moon circling around it. I recently learned that in the Zoroastrian tradition, like ancient Iranian tradition, they say that Mount Meru, they call it Harabarazati, I think. But it's so tall, this black rock, this magnetic rock, it goes all the way up to the plane of stars. And the sun and the moon circle around it. And I'm fascinated with looking at the sky and the sun and the moon. And, I'm still fascinated with the 28-day cycle for the moon and how that all works. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. But
I have some great stuff on eclipses, and the Mount Meru could be responsible for the blood moon eclipse, and again, flat earthers are willing to admit that we don't know how something works, but Globers say, "Oh well, how could a moon eclipse work if the Earth is flat?" Well, how does your eclipse work when somebody? Have you heard of the Selenilian eclipse?
No.
So an eclipse is, find it for you. So we're taught that you got the moon, you got a full moon, you got a sun, and the Earth, and the eclipse starts when the Earth moves up and casts a shadow on the moon. That's what we're taught. This is what we're
sure,
right? Right?
Yeah.
There's an eclipse called the Selenilian eclipse, and it's hard to pronounce, so the scientists just call it the impossible eclipse because it's impossible. So here's a person here, and the eclipse can't start yet because the sun and the moon are above the Earth. It's not in line with it, but the eclipse does start when they can see the sun and the moon, and the shadow comes in from the top on the last one.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Makes no sense. So this is what they saw. This is what they should have seen. How do you cast a shadow 250,000 miles? Shadows disperse in short distances. Put a basketball around at noon and a sharp shadow around it. Then hold the basketball up here. You can't even see the shadow.
Exactly.
It just disperses.
A good source for this. Have you ever read The Smoky God?
Yes, absolutely.
That's a great one. We should have that on your app if you don't already.
Well, if you even suggest that I don't, I go to the book section, and then I go to the more land section, and there's The Smoky God. Where is it? It's in here.
Beautiful.
There it is. Boom, right there.
Yeah. It's a wonderful. That covers some Mount Meru stuff. It also covers more about the influx of water and outflux daily of the water from the four rivers at the center of the north, or the center of the plain, is what the real cause of the tides are, allegedly.
Well, that I think the Earth breathes in and out twice a day, right? And that's we have these giant tides in the north, no tide on the equator. Like the Maldives are only like a foot above the ocean, and there's no tide. There's no tide.
Right. That's and even with these tides fluxing in and out, we can look at old photography. A good one is the base of the Statue of Liberty, an old black and white from when the statue was first put there compared to now. There's no rise in the water. It's exactly
was the statue put there when they told us, or was it there for hundreds of years before?
In either way, it still proves there's no
There's not.
Yeah, it's
still
still
I live in the
There's
same
no
town.
water.
I'm in the water all the time. The same rocks are at the same level. The same rock walls are at the same
Always.
level. But Alan
Yeah.
Cooper says we're going under by
Oh yeah.
by 2000 or 1990 or whatever it was.
Al Gore in every video has slit eyes. If people go to bother
Oh,
to check that out.
yeah, that
Yeah, he's
also
one of those seeds.
nice.
Unbelievable. Well,
It's
there are
crazy.
some folks in the chat here, like Gonna Fish and Not No Stopping It, and our friend Devin, Christ Light and Love, and our other friend Water Woman Kimberly, who are all saying thank you from our chat,
Thank
and
you.
we thank them for participating.
All right. If on my website, if you want to find more of my interviews, just click the interviews tab, and there's a nice playlist there. You can save that, and all my new interviews, including this one, will be on the top of that list. And we talk about all sorts of stuff. So, the more we know, the more we can teach others. So educate yourself, and every flat earther, all they want to do when they go out is talk to other people about flat earth that don't know about it. What's more fun than that? There's nothing more fun than
Right. That's the natural when
Yeah.
single-hearted people, like I don't even like to use the word people, that's another one, but single-hearted men and women, that's what you do when you find some. We've been doing that for almost 2 decades. We
Share
find
knowledge.
something amazing, you
Yeah.
immediately want to go tell others about it.
You're supposed to share knowledge with others.
Right. And we shared, by the way, all of your links that you have on your Rumble stuff and at the bottom of all your videos, all of that's copied into the bottom of this live stream on Rumble and at Local.
All my stuff you can find at flatearthdave.com. Follow me. I got some YouTube channels. My DITRH YouTube channel stands for Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. All the videos are like 5 minutes or less. So short stuff. I have a TikTok. I'll go live on TikTok a lot in the mornings on these debates. They're really fun. We get Globers up there. And we literally
knock them silly
in the nicest way, completely wipe away their religion. And there's different types of people. There's the professional ones that are in there to disrupt and stop the conversation, and then there's the other ones that are just ignorant, and that's not bad. An ignorant glober is an honest glober, right?
Right. Incurable.
Knowledge, yeah. Well, incurable. It's curable. I'm ignorant to everything I don't know. It's not a bad word. Everybody relax, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's guys that come in there and they know how deceptive they are, and they're there just, I think we're fighting a war of a spiritual war, if you will. And
Absolutely.
I don't think that people are like, oh, the agent came to them and made a deal and paid them up. No, that's not happening. A tiny bit maybe, but it's mostly just spiritual possession.
Right. And there's a big team for that too. They're called secret societies, and they're not secret because nobody knows about them, because nowadays they all wear their Masonic jewelry all over. They want everybody to know. They're secret because they stole all of the information from mankind and turned us into a hue of ourselves where we could believe in all this crap that they throw us. So there is a brotherhood. It's the biggest one is the Masons, of course. And of course, it's structured so that the 80% majority of them, the Blue Masons, really don't know that they're being duped, even though they've been duped into taking an oath of death, which is pretty detrimental to the soul. But at the top of that Masonic pyramid, they're shaking hands with the fallen, who all made a pact on top of Mount Hermon. Where we go one, we go all. And that sounds pretty familiar these days.
Yeah,
with,
look at that.
Omega group. Omega is an ancient term for a 5th degree satanic priest. Weird. We could talk probably another hour and a half, but I know you got to get going.
We won't even crack the surface for another hour and a half. There's so much.
I know.
If I have another website, it's called stoplookthink.com, and that's where all the other stuff that you can't talk about YouTube is on.
Okay.
Stoplookthink.com if you want to learn about the September event, the Beachy School in Connecticut, the marathon, the President Trump's year. It's all there.
Excellent. I can see you got your fingers in everything like us. We're all over the map with all of it. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for having me, guys. And
thanks so much, David. It's been a pleasure. This has been just one of the best talks we've ever had, man.
Thanks so much. I appreciate that. All right. Have a great night. Appreciate it.
You too. Take care.
Take care, David.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao.